Hello and welcome to another episode. Actually doing some work today rather than going to a show. So if you noticed it, if you noticed in the previous video, I was opening a box and some pretty average looking shocks came out of it. Well, shock in question is this shock here. So this is for a Mazda MX-5 Mark 1. So the thing we're going to do today is basically make a rear coilover. People have kind of done this before, but they've used a Subaru shock, which is still quite long. Good thing about these MX-5 shocks is they are they're pretty short. If you're lowering a car, it's a lot better. So you've got a shorter shock, so it's less compressed. You still got mostly quite a lot of travel in it. Obviously that's like a fixed height at the moment, so we're going to kind of combine that kind of ghetto setup that I had before with my front coilovers, the old coilovers, not the new ones I've got on there now. So I've got to take the spring off. I hate taking springs off because one time that I did take it off, managed to crush my finger, which was awesome. So hopefully that doesn't happen right now. So we need a few things from this here. Obviously we need the body. We don't need the spring. You do need this top out here, but you need to kind of take it apart and kind of deconstruct it to use to kind of like make a hybrid kind of system. So yeah, first thing you've got to do is take off the spring. So once the shock's all taken apart, you're basically going to be left with this. Now you don't have to do much to this, to the actual shock itself. All you've got to do is take off this tiny little lip that's built into the actual shock. So you just got to grind it off. Don't go too far, obviously, because you can grind into the actual shock and it's just screwed. So you grind that off. You grind that off because you need to get the coilover sleeve on top of it, and it won't fit over unless that lip's gone. So grind that off. That's all you have to do to the actual shock body. So pretty straightforward. Once you've done that, obviously you just stick that there. Once you've got shock body, pretty simple, straightforward. The coilover sleeves I'm using are the same ones I used on the initial coilover setup I had before the actual real coilovers, which is a coilover sleeve for a Honda Civic, the 92 to 2000, which is EK. So the spring rate I went for is pretty soft. It's like 240. So obviously there's not a lot of weight in the rear of a pickup, so it's ideal to have a softer spring rate. So shocks like that lip's taken off. All we've got to do, so coilover sleeve, just got it wound down, will fit pretty snugly over the top like that. Does wobble a little bit, but what you do get with the actual kit is a load of these rubbers, these little grommets here. So you can get, they come with different sizes, so you can kind of pack it out and you'll eliminate that wobble initially. So that's down on there, that's down hard on a nice flat surface as well, so it's not really going anywhere. That's all the way down. If you want to make it lower, then obviously you can just take off the rings completely and have it sitting, right down on there. But it depends how low you want to go, really. So that's on there like that, which means obviously the spring will fit on top of it like that. Pretty straightforward. Next component is plastic top mount that you actually get with this coilover sleeve. So that fits obviously on top there, so gives that a nice flat contact surface to go onto the deconstructed part of the upper mount from the Master Shock. So Master Shock, the upper point mount looks like that together. Basically, it's a pain in the ass to get apart. You've got to take the top section off. You basically got to go drill 3 holes and drill out the spot welds, and you can knock it apart. There's a load of rubber bushings in there, or rubber mounts, that like it's just impossible to get off, so you've really got to hack at it, and basically you'll end up with 3 individual sections. You don't need that middle section, get rid of that. So you're left with this section here, which obviously went onto the top of the initial spring. So you've got that bit, it comes with a load of rubber obviously bonded to it, so you need to get rid of all that rubber excess, which means that sits on top of that. Now obviously you've got that little collar there, so that sits on top of that and doesn't move. The next component, which is the most important component, is an upper mount for an older Subaru, not my Subaru, but this mount here. So this comes off Adjusty, I believe. I got it from America, from Rock Auto. Basically on the Brat, you just have, you know, these kind of mounts here. You don't have anything like this, so you're kind of screwed. So I got this, which is perfect, which means, yeah, you can use a different kind of shock. Obviously that does kind of sit on there. The shape's actually pretty decent. It kind of sits on there kind of perfectly. There is a little bit of a gap, and generally you do get some kind of rubber bushing with it that kind of takes the shock out of it. So found some old rubbers, not rubbers like that, found some old rubber neoprene shock rubber mount thing, cut it in half, put that on top there, just to kind of stop, just make sure it's not metal on metal so it grinds away, and that sits on there quite snugly. And obviously once it's screwed down, it's going to be pretty snug. And then you're left with the only top mount to go on is this. Now the reason I'm still using this is because it's got a flat edge on it there. It's got a flat edge on the actual top strut mount there, which means when you do it up, so it doesn't spin. So that is all those 1, 2, 3, 4 components together. That sits on there like that. Then obviously all you're gonna do is fix it. So what we're gonna do now is obviously just screw it down or bolt it down. Pretty easy. 17mm bolt. Pretty tight, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Then now you have a coilover for your Brat, your pickup. It's pretty simple. That means basically, if you want to, you can get an OX5 proper coilover and run that if you wanted to. So all I'm going to do now, basically clean it up a little bit, paint it, and then we're done. I'm going to do now, decided I'm gonna cut off that excess metal just in case, because I don't want to like put it on and be like, oh look, it's hitting, so I'm gonna cut some metal off. That is where the new mount sits. So I've got about 1 centimetre of metal I can cut off there, which is gonna be which will be fine. I'll cut that off. Annoyingly, that other shock is different. It's a Sachs Super Touring. This bit here is slightly deeper than the other one, which is annoying as hell. I hate shit like that's gonna bug the crap out of me. So if it works, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, don't go out buying the bits yet just in case it doesn't work. So I'm gonna buy, yeah, if it works, pretty sure it's gonna work. If it works, I'm gonna buy some new operated ones. I'm sure they're pretty cheap on eBay, just for the rears. And I'll just replace these ones because that's just gonna bug me. It's really gonna piss me off. I hate shit like that. I may have got a little bit carried away. It's not a bad thing. There you have it. There it is, one pretty cool looking ghetto-ish coilover. Pretty stoked with that. So won't be able to get it on this weekend, get it on next weekend, see how it goes, but I'm pretty confident that it's gonna work. Yeah, so cool. Thanks for watching as always. Nearly on 300 subscribers, nearly, which is ridiculous. Like, I've started with like 30 subscribers and now like 300, so thank you very much to everyone who's watching it. It's like so awesome. If you want to see anything in particular, if there's something you want me to do to the car, a certain aspect of the car that you want to see, let me know. I think someone said they wanted to hear what it kind of sounds like on a proper video, so if you want, I'll do like a kind of like a tunnel run kind of video, just kind of get an idea of the exhaust note. But next video will be of me trying and hopefully succeeding putting these on. So cool. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.